Welcome back. Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah presented the state budget and allocated 100 crore rupees for Waqf properties, 200 crore rupees for the Christian community benefit. With regards to Waqf properties, he announced a special focus on protection and conservation of protected monuments maintained by the ASI already. He further announced programs that will be formulated and implemented through minorities development corporations at a cost of nearly 400 crore rupees. Now, taking on the Karnataka government's budget, the BJP said the Congress government is using Hindu community as a tool to financially enrich other communities. BJP protested outside the assembly premises, expressing displeasure over the fund allocation to non-Hindu communities. But is the appeasement charge valid or not? Take an example of how much money the state earns, especially from Hindu temples alone. There's about 445 crore rupees, that is revenue from temples in Dakshin Kannada, Uttar Kannada, Udupi, Tumkuru, Bengaluru urban districts. Compare that to the funds that have been allocated for quote-unquote Hindu causes. So there's a complex to be built in Varanasi which will be for 5 crores, a bridge to Mantralaya temple for 158 crores. The allocation is just about 163 crores for Hindus or what would be linked to their faith. There's some other schemes but no allocations. Compare that further to the funds that have been announced for minorities alone. Property development, the Hajj Bhavan, pilgrimage sites, Christian community, minority development corporations, it all totals to 723 crores. So this is the question that is arising, if it is fair that you get so much money on one hand because you control Hindu temples alone and they fund a lot for the government, but actually the government is not giving even that proportion back to Hindu faith and its causes. It has been a pattern though since the Congress government came to power. Let me retrace some of their announcements and allocations that have been made since the government change. So for example, in September last year itself, the government announced a 3 lakh rupees subsidy for minorities on vehicle purchases. This created a massive furor in the state at the time. In December, the Chief Minister announced 4,000 crore for minorities welfare alone. He even went on to say that in future, they want to take this minority allocation up to about 10,000 crores. Meanwhile, in the same month, another 1,000 crore rupees were announced for just minority-dominated colonies. So very focused schemes they have, but for the development of only minorities. Even last year's budget, there was 100 crores for Jain, Muslim, Sikh community pilgrimages, 1 lakh rupee loan at a subsidized rate for minority students, 50 crore for 40,000 Waqf properties, now it has been upped by 100%. Interest-free loan of up to 20 lakh rupees for minority students and setting up of a Christian development corporation, all in less than a year in power. So the question we ask is this: has there been disproportionate spending on minorities by the Karnataka government, and is the discrimination charge valid?
More a political speech. Siddaramaiah just to cover up his failures.
ಬಿಜೆಪಿಯವರು ಬಾಯಿ ಬಂದಾಗ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾರೆ.
We have to laugh or we have to actually how we have to replay for this budget. What is the budget?
Congress government in the state of Karnataka, it is very discriminative. It only plays with the vote bank politics and it is hurting the sentiments of Hindus.
Congress is always accused everybody, and when they are pleasing some community.
Let's go across to our guest joining us. GS Prasanta is spokesperson Karnataka BJP. Bhavya Narsimhamurthy is from the Congress party. I do thank you all for joining us. Bhavya, let me begin with you. Why this hyper focus on the minorities?
the problem is BJP does not sit through the whole budget maybe, so they do not know how we have maintained social justice. We're making sure every community is included. Our main ideology is what our Basavanna had preached about social justice, Sama Samaja, an equal society, creating an equal society. For them to just say the government has allocated money for minorities and not for Hindus is very, very wrong, and it's a misinformation. Let me tell you the very first thing, government this time the budget allocated for the development of birthplace of Lord Hanuman, Anjanadi temple is 100 crore rupees. Just the birthplace of Lord Hanuman, just one temple. For Hindus, our government has allocated 100 crore rupees.
Okay, what else?
Not because they do not.
Nothing else. They have nothing else. It's from our money. It's from Hindu temples' money.
Let me finish. You will get your charts. Let me finish.
Go on.
Just because you can see only one fact and you can see only one allocation, that doesn't mean the government has done only that. We are a people's party and we represent every community in this country.
So what else have you allocated for Hindu faith?
For us.
So what else have you allocated for Hindu faith, Bhavya? Bhavya, this is your opportunity to tell us. What else have you allocated for Hindu faith alone?
Hindu faith alone. So we have a separate department called Mujrai, only to work on the development of temples. It was started by Congress government.
It's our money.
Only so that whatever we get out of the temples, the income will be spent on, the temples, and the development actually happens, so that no individual takes care, takes the money.
But that's not something the government is doing, right? That's temple money.
Enough.
But Bhavya, that's temple money.
SCST is not Hindus. SCST is not Hindus. OBC is not Hindus.
No, SCSTs, one second, SCSTs are there in Muslims also, SCSTs are there in Christians also, then do it for SCSTs, no? All SCSTs.
So that's what I'm saying. I'm saying for them to say we have not done anything for Hindus, for OBCs separately, for SCST.
Let me come back.
One second. No, I'm trying to understand. Before, I want to give the Congress representative an opportunity. You mentioned the Anjana temple, I get that. Apart from that, when I asked you what else have you allocated for Hindu faith alone, because you've allocated a lot for Christian faith, Muslim faith, etc. You said whatever we get from the temples gets spent on the temples. But that's not a largesse of the state government, right?
Yeah.
Apart from that, what else are you doing for Hindu faith?
Muslim community has been allocated. Yes, Christian community has been allocated. Jains have been allocated. Hindus have been allocated. Every community has been allocated.
So what have you allocated for the Hindus is what I'm asking.
Not Hindus. That's very wrong. That would be very wrong.
Why? When you can allocate for Muslims, why can't somebody ask you for Hindus? Why is that wrong?
Who is saying it's wrong?
So what have you allocated? I'm asking you.
I'm giving information. I'm telling you, one temple has been allocated 100 crores.
So 100 crores has been allocated versus 700 crore plus for minorities of the state. This is despite the fact that you get so many hundreds of crores from Hindu temples.
For them to say building Ram temple is about showing Hinduism, why not building Hanuman temple is Hinduism?
You're not listening to the question I'm asking you, Bhavya. We are not. One second. That's not the question. Nobody is questioning your devoutness. The question one is asking is, if Hindu temple money is going to Hindu temples, that's not a largesse of the state, first of all. You're not doing anybody any favors. Secondly, one second, let me finish. Secondly, you mentioned 100 crores for a Hindu temple. Okay, 100 crores for a Hindu temple. Is that all or is there more? I'm giving you one more opportunities because there is about 700, 800 crores for minorities alone. I'm guessing there are more Hindus in the state.
Yes, of course. Okay, let me just tell you. No tax, 1 second. I have written it here. Okay. For Ram temple, revamp of Ram temples across, it is 100 crores. It's only for Anjanadri temple, it is 100 crore. You can see that. This was done.
These are all temples that you already get money from.
Jan 31st of
Shivani, I think
2024.
I need to come in now.
Yeah,
Let
okay.
me put some
I've got
more facts.
limited time. I've got limited time. So let Mr. Prasanta respond. Mr. Prasanta, are you
That's very wrong.
One second.
That's what
Let me
Is
answer.
your chief argument, Bhavya ji, one second now, please yield. Please yield. Is your principal argument, Prasanta, that temple money goes to the government but then adequate amount doesn't come back to Hindu faith? Or is your principal opposition that minority schemes are being given more and more? What is your opposition?
Shivani, firstly, please spell my name as Prashant, not
Prashant.
Prasanta. Not a
Okay.
Bengali. I'm from Bangalore. Be that as it may, now coming to the budget given by Siddaramaiah, is a directionless, visionless budget aimed only at minorities. I'll tell you 3 or 4 reasons for that. On what reason it is. Now, point number 1. You put out a on the screen saying 723 crores allocated for minorities versus 158 crores for Hindus, which is wrong because that out of that 158 crores for, it's a bridge being done, it's a infrastructure for a public project which also has Mantralaya temple on the way. It's
Sure.
not exclusive to Mantralaya temple. That is one point.
Sure,
The
I
second
take your
point is-
point.
No. Let me complete. You have at para 51 of the budget speech, you have a 12 crore annual allocation for raw silk reelers, which is again linked with Minority Development Corporation. Are you saying that only minorities are in the business of raw silk reelers? No.
Yes.
Then you come to para 53 of the speech. He talks about empowerment of women and 6% interest subsidy for women to purchase cow or buffalo with the condition that there should be proper repayment. Whereas at para 188 of the budget speech, he talks about 10 crore for women self-help groups for minorities, no conditions. And at para 186 of the budget speech, he talks about 6% interest subsidy for minority loans up to 10 crores, no condition for prepayment. This is apart from the other allocations what they have done for minorities of 200 crores for Christians, 100 crore for Waqf properties, and also they want to give some training to the Maulvis or Mulavis, whatever name called there. But they are not wanting to have any training for other people. In fact, they are taking money from Hindu temples, having the Hindu temples under their control, which is giving them more than 500 crores annually, that they are spending on the minorities. This is an appeasement-driven budget and nothing else. There is zero development. Also, let's talk about the Bangalore brand Bangalore. They have brought about a tunnel with no allocation. Bhavya, please wait. Bhavya, you have exhausted your time. Please wait. Please wait for your turn, Bhavya. You will not get to talk now. Let me complete your appeasement theory. Let me complete your appeasement
Okay,
theory.
one by one, please. One by one. Bhavya, you
Shivani, I
had
need
your
to
opportunity
complete.
multiple times. One by one. Bhavya, please.
Shivani, I need to complete.
One second.
Shivani,
I don't want to do this. Both of you are
Yes,
senior
let
enough.
me complete.
Please not speak over each other. Yes, Prashant,
Yes,
please
let me
finish.
Let me complete. At para 161, he allocates 2,710 crore for SC, ST and BC. Good. But this is the government which has siphoned off 11,000 crores meant for SC, ST in the past. So by siphoning off 11,000 crores, they are trying to allow 2,710 crores. This is again an eyewash on the SC, ST and BC communities. They're only wanting to appease minorities and doing this.
Okay.
And you also
Can I
have
ask-
on the education. No,
Yeah.
Shivani, one more minute.
Yeah.
On the education, you have Karnataka public schools to be started at para 96 of the budget speech with the help of CSR funds. University of Vishweshwaraya College to be upgraded with CSR funds and alumni funds, which means for Karnataka public schools and UVCE, you want CSR funds and public funds, whereas for minorities, government will give largesse of 100 crores for work, 200 crores for Christians. What sort of a budget is this?
Okay.
For-
Can
on
I come
one
in
hand,
now?
you want
Can I
money
come
for
in?
public.
One second, Bhavya. One second, Bhavya. The question I want to ask you is this: you know, one of Congress's biggest leaders, Mr. Rahul Gandhi, is going across the country and he's talking about "Jitni abadi utna hak." Right? So my question to the Congress government in Karnataka is, why are you not following that philosophy in your state expenditure and budget? Why should Hindus, which are the predominant majority of the state, not get predominant funds? when it particularly pertains to their faith. Jitni abadi utna haq. Karnataka mein kyun nahi ho raha hai?
So Shivani, this is so basic. I need to get to it. When it comes to, social justice, yes, everybody according to their population, jitni abadi, jitni haq, it is being followed. And
what is social justice here? What is social justice? Allocation of budget, jitni abadi, utna haq is social justice.
You cannot make statements that, we are against Hindus and all. That would be very
Nobody is
misleading,
saying
and
that.
that's not
You've
how
got
it
to prove
works.
yourself. But the question I'm asking you is simple.
How much
The question I'm asking you is simple. If it is about social justice, then you identify.
Allocated 54,000 crores, and this time in the budget we have allocated 39 crores for SASP and TSP. Then comes about the schools. What about the, when we have majority as Hindus, all these development schemes, all these social justice schemes, social security schemes, who is the major beneficiary of
Yeah,
it?
but the minorities benefit from those
Obviously,
schemes
they're
too.
not actually being
No, this is a very, one second, this is a very lopsided, just lower off it. This is a very lopsided argument. Bhavya, I'm sorry, but you will not speak over me. This is a very lopsided argument. If schemes benefit majority 80% of the population, those schemes also benefit the minority 20% of the population. So you don't need to have separate schemes for the minorities. And if you are talking about social justice, social justice is on the parameter of backwardness, economic or social. It is not on the parameter on religion.
Let me tell you something. When it comes to constitution,
Yeah.
we always have reservation based on caste and not economics.
Yeah, so there is an EWS now. There is an EWS reservation now.
For that matter, whether it is SC, ST or OBC.
Yeah, but it's not
or
on the basis of
minority.
religion, madam.
The very ideology of our government is about backward community.
Yeah, so do it for backward communities. Nobody is questioning that. Why do you have so much largesse for minorities pertaining to religious minorities when you're already doing for backward classes, which are also part of minority communities? Then what is the justification? Then just do social justice on the basis of backwardness.
Backward classes are not part of minorities.
Of course they are part of minorities. What are you saying? You're not well versed with the reality on ground. There are SC, STs in minorities. There are SC, STs in Christians, in Muslims. What are you talking about?
The community backward class includes majority of Hindu castes which have
Shivani,
remained backward.
Okay, 30 seconds. 30 seconds to Mr. Prashant. No, jitni abadi utna haq aap bol rahe hain. If your leader goes around the country, says this,
Shivani,
then you should do it in your budget also, na? 30 seconds to Mr. Prashant.
Yes, let me also bring about, this is a revenue deficit budget, and you also look at what were the budget estimates and what they've come down to. They proposed in 2023-24 when they came to power that they will collect 1,75,000 crores as revenue. Now they have revised their estimates to 1,61,000 crores, which is less by 14,000 crores. On the other hand, the share of central taxes, which is devolution from the central government, which was estimated at 37,252 crores, has increased to 40,280 crores, which means the central government has given 3,000 crores more. And also, in their open market loans, they are projected to increase their borrowings by 19,000 crores, which means at every step to fund this minority appeasement, they are wanting to take more loans, which will be a burden on the exchequer.
You know,
but
the
there is
Congress
nothing for the
government
common
came
man.
to power on the back of some very strong guarantees. Those guarantees apply to everyone. And if they do benefit everyone in the state, why do you need even more for a particular section? I'll leave you with that thought. I do thank our guests for joining us. Time for the hard facts on the other side.